that are original. Ayn, lam, and mim. Okay. This one has, if you go back to the origin of this one, every mazid can be traced back to mujarrad. Okay? Every mazid, you cannot just create a mazid, right? Out of the blue. It has to come from a mujarrad. Because if it's mazid, that means you have added letters to the mujarrad to change the meaning. Like we have done here. To alima we have added ta, ayn, ta and another lam. Ta and another lam are the added letters to change the meaning. Alima, he knew. Ta'allama, he learned. So this is what happens with when you make thulathi mazid from thulathi mujarrad.
What about if you go, because here you said the object, so if you say Samia, he heard, right? What was the key made it heard?
Sumia.
Istama. Asma, yes.
Asma. With that, he made it heard, right?
Right.
So that should be the mujarrad then, because
It's not, because as in the purest form it has 4 letters, even though it is Sin, Mim, Ayn as the root, right?
But if you go asma'a, the root you go back to the original Samia.
You don't go back because you can only go back if the meaning doesn't change. But asma is to make her, samia is to hear. So you see the meaning changes. You understand? If you go from mazid to mujarrad, obviously the meaning changes, right? Then you are, as soon as you are in, this is what you do. Go to past third person masculine singular. Don't go any further. Don't worry about, let me go dig further and go to mujarrad. Don't go to mujarrad, or if you haven't determined that, if it's mujarrad or mazid, that's where you can determine. If you are in past third person masculine singular, you have everything you need to determine if something is mujarrad or mazid. And it's very easy to tell, right? It has, you can see 4 letters, but in reality it's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 lambs and 5. So right away you determine that this is not thulathi mujarrad, this is thulathi mazid. You can try other examples. Let's say we have something that you've seen before. Unsur. It's a command to help. Now you think to yourself, you say, okay, this is, I'm wondering if it's thulathi mujarrad or thulathi mazid. Well, it should be mazid because it has 4 letters. Thulathi means 3 letters, and in this form it has 4 letters. Should it not be thulathi mazid?
No. The original verb is 3.
So from here, where do you go? As soon as you know that this is command, where do you go?
Third person singular. The original form.
Yeah, so the first thing you know here is that you cannot say, this is the command. This is the command. This is amr. You cannot determine if it's, I mean, obviously later with experience, you will be able to determine that. But now, for learning purposes over here, assume that you cannot determine if it's mujarrad or mazid. Why is it not an easy decision? Because we have 4 letters. And thulathi is supposed to be 3 in the root, the original pure form. So you decide that you cannot determine if you're, let's go to the pure form. The purest form.
Nasara.
Which is nasara, which is past, third person, masculine singular. So you go back to that, and then you can determine very easily. Nasara. So what do we have there? How many letters do we have? 3. And what does that tell us? It's thulathi mazid or mujarrad? Mujarrad. Because we just have 3 letters, and that's all we need to have to determine that it's thulathi mujarrad. So unsur then is thulathi
mazid.
mujarrad. Because you go back to the root, to the pure form.
That's he helped, right? And this is
Help.
like order, sort of
Command,
yeah.
Let's look at another one. This is side, which is derived from Miftah has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. So is it khumasi, which is 5 letter? No. Can we have khumasi? Yeah, we can have khumasi, yes. But this is derived from Fatah. So you immediately, directly or maybe indirectly, go to the pure form, which is past third person masculine singular, which in this case is, so you cannot determine mujarrad or mazid here, right? So you want to go to this pure form, which is past madi, third person masculine singular. And then you count the letters there. 1, 2, 3. And then you decide that this is thulathi mujarrad. So miftah is an ism that is thulathi.
So going back to ta'allam, that's all, you know, it's from alama, right?
It's from alima.
Alima.
But
So
you
how
see
come-
the meaning changes.
No,
now.
but-
Let finish this question.
He said it's a different verb.
What?
He said it's a different verb totally.
It's a totally different verb for ta'allama.
What-
It's alima, right?
No, I'm saying whatever fi'al you get your hands on, or any ism you get your hands on, go back to the past third person masculine singular of that fi'al.
Yeah, but for
No further.
isn't for ta'allama the same thing? Isn't it alima?
Well, the real root is ayn lam mim, yes, true. But to determine for our purposes, to determine mujarrad or mazid, that's as far as you have to go. Actually, you should just stop there and decide over there if it is mujarrad or mazid. You don't go any further, because you can keep going further and further, but you shouldn't go, because then you will not be able to determine, and you will make a mistake by thinking that alima is the root. So you say, okay, ta'allama is thulathi mujarrad, which it's not, because you should start with ta'allam. Suppose I give you muta'allim, right? Yeah, let's actually do this.
So
Muta'allim,
ta'allama itself is the root.
that's the root for the purposes of determining mujarrad and mazid, yes. But the real root is alim, of course. Say muta'allim, which means learner, student. Muta'allimun. You look at it, and immediately you can tell this is not where you can determine if it's mujarrad or if it's mazid, right? Because first of all, it's not even a fi'al, right? It's an ism fa'al, right? The learner. So you go back to its root. And the pure form, yes.
So when you go back to the root, it has to be the root with the same meaning.
With the same meaning, exactly.
So-
from the same form, yeah.
So from ta'allama, you can't go back to alameen because it has a
Different
different
meaning,
meaning. So you can't go back to that. So that's how we know that it's mazid, right?
Right. Well, a better way to look at it is we cannot go any further because we have determined that our destination will be third person masculine singular of this form. That's all. We will not go in. The first past third person masculine singular we encounter, that's where we're going to stop. And that's where we're going to decide if it's mujarrad or mazid. For this one, it's ta'allam. It's not alam, because if you go all the way to alam, that means you have skipped one past third person masculine singular, which is ta'allam. So from this form, it's ta'allama, and therefore you determine that